Have you ever walked into a room and felt everything? Noticed the silence behind the noise, the hidden tension in a smile, the ache in someone's eyes even when they laughed? Maybe you've been told, "You're too sensitive," "You think too much," or the classic, "Why can't you just be happy?" But you can't, because something inside you is always watching, always feeling. And in a world that numbs itself on autopilot, you feel like a glitch in the system, a soul wide awake in a sleepwalking world. This isn't a flaw. This isn't a disorder. This is depth. And today, we're diving into it, into the philosophy of the deeply feeling mind. Why you hurt more, why you sense more, why you've always felt different, and why that might just be your hidden strength. The burden of perception. Philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer once said, "The more unintelligent a man is, the less mysterious existence seems to him." Those who feel deeply don't just see the world, they pierce it. A glance isn't just a glance. It's a window. A moment isn't just a second. It's an echo. A single sentence can reverberate for hours, not because you're weak, but because you understand too much. This hyperperception is like holding your ear to the ground. You hear things others don't. But it's also why small talk feels exhausting, why crowds drain you, why a single cruel word can linger in your mind like a haunting. You feel energies before words. You spot masks before truths. And that makes life harder, not because you're wrong, but because you're rare. The philosophy of feeling. Let's turn to the ancient Greeks. They didn't separate emotion from reason like we often do today. For Plato, the soul had three parts: reason, spirit, and desire, and harmony was the goal. Feeling wasn't weakness, it was a compass. Aristotle even claimed that virtue lies in finding the right emotion at the right time. But modern society? It teaches suppression, stiff upper lip, swipe away the pain, filter the chaos. And yet, your ability to feel deeply, even the painful parts, is a sign of an unfiltered consciousness. You are not overreacting. You are reacting to a world that often underreacts. Your sadness has wisdom. Your empathy has depth. Your sorrow isn't just pain, it's awareness. The loneliness of awareness. Here's the truth no one says out loud. The more awake you become, the lonelier it gets. Why? Because when you stop lying to yourself, you start noticing how much of the world does. You see the performance in relationships, the repetition in conversations, the avoidance of meaning. And suddenly, connection feels scarce. Like you're speaking a language no one else remembers. Like you're trying to find honesty in a theater of masks. This loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about being misunderstood. Even Sartre, the philosopher of existential angst, wrote about nausea, that sick feeling that arises when the curtain is pulled back and you see things as they truly are. It's the ache of knowing too much and having nowhere to place it. Sensitivity as resistance. But what if I told you? Your sensitivity isn't just a burden. It's an act of resistance. In a world that profits from numbness, your ability to feel is revolutionary. When systems want you distracted, your reflection is rebellion. When algorithms want your attention, your introspection is power. And when the world tells you to move on, your grief says, "Wait." This mattered. You see, sensitivity is not passivity. It is presence. It's the ability to stand in front of truth and not flinch, to hold pain without running, to witness injustice and still care. You aren't fragile, you're honest. And that honesty? That's where true strength begins. The myth of being too much. Maybe you've heard this one too. You're too much, too emotional, too intense, too reflective. But too much is often just more than they can hold. You weren't meant to shrink to fit the small containers of shallow people. You were built for oceans. Philosophers like Rainer Maria Rilke spoke of this, of carrying vast inner worlds and suffering because of them. But it's not because you're broken. It's because you're whole in a fragmented world. Your emotions are not excess. They are echoes of your wholeness. Let the world call it too much. You call it truth. The healing path of the deep mind. Healing isn't becoming less sensitive. It's becoming strong enough to stay that way. It's learning boundaries without building walls. It's choosing silence not out of fear, but clarity. It's feeling everything, and still choosing peace. The path of the deeply feeling is not easy, but it is meaningful. You may carry more weight, but you also carry more light. You may cry more, but you also understand more. Healing means embracing your depth, not escaping it. It means knowing that your ache is sacred, that your emotions are not the enemy, they are guides, and that even if the world never fully understands you, you can understand yourself. So to the ones who feel too much, who cry at music, ache at beauty, and break over injustice, you are not broken. You are attuned. You are not behind. You are awake. And no, the world may not reward your depth, but that's only because it hasn't learned how to hold it yet. But you can. You can honor it, protect it, live it. Because one day, someone will hear the way you speak, and they'll say, "I thought I was the only one." And in that moment, you'll realize your depth was never a flaw. It was a language, a sacred one, a rare one, yours.